Hello and welcome to my studio tour vlog situation. The reason I wanted to do this is because I thought it'd be cool if in 5 to 10 years, I look back and I can see how far I've come. My fans at that point can also look back and see how far I've come. And I think it'd just be really cool. Obviously I don't have a great, amazing setup right now because I am 20 years old and I don't have a lot of money. So a lot of my commentary of this video will be my plans of what I'm going to do with this space. And obviously this isn't my final space. I'm going to have an actual studio at some point. By the time I turn 30, I want to have an actual studio with my label and whatnot. By the time I'm 25 is when I want to have a label with a team and at least one artist that I'm producing that isn't myself, because I love production. I want to help young artists fulfill their dreams when they don't have the means to do so. So without further ado, let's look at the studio. Alright, so we enter and here's a quick overview. I have my ring light there. It's a newer ring light, 14-inch. On it I have the I'll turn it off so you can see like what's going on with it. So I have the orange filter bit with a little diffuser softbox so that the orange is to make the light a little warmer. I'm very pale skinned, so having white light on me is just going to completely drown me out, while the orange is going to make it look a lot more natural, a lot warmer. The soft box is just to make it look less harsh. It makes it softer. It's a softer light. Let's turn that back on so we can see things a little better. So over here, so from the entrance to the right, you have the bathroom, because this is actually the master bedroom of my house. So over here we have my desk. So let's get a little overview of my desk. I have Parks and Rec going on right there. So I have my computer down there, the little external hard drive, computer tray, all the nonsense. Usually I'll have my iPad sitting right here. I use the Pro Tools Control app to do my mixing in Pro Tools, especially the on-the-fly mixing. Some of the more fine details of post-production I need to actually do on the computer because I can do it a little more exact. I don't have studio monitors, so I just use computer speakers hooked up to my interface. My interface is an M-Audio M-Track 2x2C series. So it has, on the back of it, it has an XLR and line input kind of input. So you can do an XLR input or just a normal line. Right now I have my shotgun mic plugged in there, but I change that out for shotgun mic and condenser mic, depending if I'm doing instrument or vocal recording. So it just has, gain for input 1, gain for input 2, which is just an instrument input, for guitar, for, whatnot. I did a shotgun mic works in there too, or dynamic mic, any kind of mic that can just have a normal 1/4-inch input. This, input for that. This is for the monitors, which goes to the speakers. This is a little thing for if you want the output from speakers or headphones. This is an headphone jack I use these ones with, I'll get to that a little bit later. So this is a little knob that changes what output you're getting, whether it's the USB output, directly from the computer, so directly from Pro Tools or whatever, like if you're in your DAW, your digital audio workspace, when you have a track record enabled, you get that feed back to you so you can hear what you're singing. But sometimes there's too much latency or delay between when you sing it and when it comes back. So you want to then put that a little bit more towards direct, so that the output you're getting is the direct analog input. So right when you play it, it just goes right back to you. So it just goes right back into the headphones or monitor feed. You want to put it back to USB for when you're actually mastering and mixing and editing and all that, so that you can hear what's happening. I like to have it a little bit to direct, just so I can always hear a little bit of what's going directly into it, as well as still hearing a lot of what's being filtered through the computer, because you can have it set up so that you get little to no latency through the computer. It just is a little lower quality. So then over here I have a mic stand. It's a little scissor like boom arm that I have my mic clip for the shotgun for when I do live streaming. I like to have that on there. You can just move it so that you can talk into it for live streaming. Over here I have my MIDI controller. So if you're not a producer person, you don't really know too much about this, just looks like a normal keyboard. But the difference between this and like just a Yamaha electric keyboard is this doesn't produce any actual sound. It only produces MIDI data, which goes into the computer through USB, and it'll play sounds that are preloaded into the computer. Let's see if I can get this up. So while that's loading up, I'll talk about other stuff. So you play this and it gets set up, like it just goes straight to the computer. It plays sounds that are in the computer, not in the keyboard. So now over here we have my headphones. I use these ones. These are ATH M40s, Audio Technicas. I have those plugged directly into my audio interface to get all the analog information. So I wear those when I'm recording. When I'm mixing and editing and everything, I just go straight to the studio monitors, or I'll wear these ones, which are Sennheisers. They are amazing. They're open back. So what open back does is it lets out, it like leaks all of that audio so that it can make it sound more like live sound, which is like, why not just use speakers? Well, those are a lot higher quality than, it's a lot higher audio quality than a lot of speakers. So you do that, it lets it out and lets you feel like you're there, So I use those when I'm just listening to music, when I'm playing video games, when I'm mixing, mastering, all that nonsense. But I don't use those when I'm recording because I don't want any of that sound leakage to get into a new track. So let's see if I can let's just create a thing, whatever. Okay, so now you can tell. So I loaded up an instrument track. I put Expand, which is just a virtual instrument in there, and now I can I can play that. I can play all that on here. But if I do not have this happening, so if I just get rid of this nonsense, can't do anything with it. This makes no actual sound. It just sends MIDI data to the computer, to the DAW. So that was a fun little experiment. So that's all my desktop printer, just nonsense. Oh, this is my Steam controller. This is my headphones amplifier. I have my speakers go into this as well as these headphones. That's just for sound stuff. It's not really all that important. Over here, we have my shotgun mic, which I use for my shotgun sessions, obviously. I use for streaming, I use for picking up instruments. So when I do guitar, I do a direct input and a shotgun to pick up the notes from the direct input, and then a nice acoustic sound from the shotgun mic. And I can have the shotgun mic a little farther away because it's super sensitive. And I also use this for if I'm just, for that last thing I put on SoundCloud, the Let's Sing, I just use this because it picks up nice from a distance. I also use it for cello because I can have it sitting a little farther away and it'll pick up the cello really nicely because I don't want to have it too close because I might hit it with my bow because I suck at playing cello. And over here I have the compression mic. I think it's compressor mic. That I use for vocals. I use only for vocals. Sometimes I use it for tambourine. Like if I already have it set up and I'm just doing tambourine, I'll just do that one instead of changing out for the shotgun mic. But I use that for vocals because that's what it's for. It's a vocal mic. Over here, I have drums. They were my sister's drums. She gave them to me because she's the best person in the world. Obviously, it's not a full setup right now. I am missing the ride cymbal. I'm missing the 2 toms and the floor tom. That's just because of space that I had in the house. At first, this wasn't going to be the studio. My other bedroom was going to be in the studio, so I didn't have space for all of it, and the most important things were just the snare and the kick drum for me because it's folk. You know, I don't really need all the other stuff. Now I want all the other stuff because I want the floor tom especially because it just, again, folk, it sounds good. And also, we didn't bring everything because when my mom brought it down, there wasn't enough room in the van to bring it all. So, but at Christmas, she's coming down, she's bringing all the rest of it. My tambourine here. I have some other percussion kind of stuff in that box there. I have some of Bella's toys just sitting around. My old phone tripod. What else? I have a coronet right there, just because why not? My guitar stand is a 7 guitar stand with padding on it. I have my nylon, my 6-string nylon, my 12-string that my dad gave me. I have an old electric that a friend in high school gave me that his grandma got at a rummage sale, and I have my first ever guitar right here. This is, you know, my black Epiphone SG. It's my first and only working electric guitar. It kind of sucks. The intonation is bad and it's not good anymore. It needs to be replaced. So I'm saving for that. And over here we have my filming space, which is also Bella's space. There's Bella's toy. So there's my stool. You know, I have the newer light. If you remember, like, it's newer. This lights up this area. You know, the Irish flag because I have it. The cello, purple cello. I have swords there because why not? The amp, the pillow. So this is where I film shotgun sessions. This is where I film, or will be filming, you know, all this kind of, you know, cover videos and whatnot. And a buddy of mine from work, we're thinking of doing a music podcast, and I was considering turning this into the area to do that, which would be really cool if he'd want to do it here and get chairs and whatnot. I think it'd be cool to have, like, you know, 2 chairs in each corner maybe, and then, you know, something in the middle. You know, and it would still be my space for other videos. It would just, that would be the background. Like the podcast stuff would just be the background of that. Or I can move it out, bring in, you know, other stuff, you know, fake trees or something, I don't know. So this is Bella's chair. Since Bella has really bad separation anxiety, she likes to look out the window when I'm gone. And when my bed was in here, she could sit on the bed and look out that window. But now that my bed is not in here, I brought up one of my dining chairs, put her bed on it, so she can look out the window for me. Whenever I'm gone, she looks out the window, and whenever I'm just working, I'm just sitting over there working on whatever, I almost fell, she will look out the window to, you know, bark at people and whatnot. When I'm recording, I'll close the window so that she can't see at it, because when she looks out the window, she barks at everything, and I don't want her to do that when I'm recording. So now let's talk about what I want to do with the space. In here, the walk-in closet, I want to turn that into the vocal booth. Right now it's just, like, you know, storage for nonsense, as a old mattress, a bed frame, you know, the guest bed stuff, guitar cases, a couple violins. So in here, as you might be able to tell, it's not as echoey as out there. Because out there, it's a really open room, and you might be able to hear it in the video, I don't know. But it's an open room, which we'll get to that, what I'm going to do here. But in here, I'm going to replace the door. I'm going to replace this door with a door that has a hole in it, or just replace it with a door and cut a hole out. I might take down the shelving, I might just keep storage in here, but so it's going to, you know, I'll bring mics in here so that, you know, it has better audio quality recording in here than recording out there because of all the open space. So how am I going to combat the open space? See this big old ceiling? I'm going to hang stuff from it. So what I want to do is hang like old blankets or just old like cloth, like old thick cloth. It needs to be thick. Hang it in like kind of a drooping fashion from the ceiling, like with like a bar or something that goes across, and it, you know, droops on either side of the fan, not hitting the fan obviously, because you know the fan would be nice to have for circulation still when I'm working, not recording, but when I'm working. So with that, it'll capture a lot of the stray sound, because when you know, a lot of bad recordings will be bad because you have too much of sound bouncing off of walls or off of ceilings back into that recording, and you don't want that. You just want the original sound. I mean, unless you do want that, which you shouldn't, but you want that original sound, you want only that sound. So what you want to do is get as much stuff on the walls and ceiling as possible that will grab and trap that sound and kill it. So with that drooping, with the drooping cloth, it will keep it from getting to the ceiling. It'll, you know, kill it in there, and it'll just stop it from bouncing around too much. What I'm also gonna do is hanging on this wall, most likely this wall and that wall, will be panels of soundproofing. Now that kind of soundproofing is less about dampening the bouncing around sound and more about keeping sound in here and not going to my neighbors, because that wall, and then by extension the wall in the closet, those are shared walls between the condo next to me, you know, the two condos next to me. And especially with the drums, I don't want them to have to hear that, you know, because that's just inconsiderate if I'm banging away on the drums and, you know, wakes them up. So I have a few plans on how I'm gonna do that, how I'm gonna do the soundproofing. Nothing concrete yet, but you know, it'll come along. So the plan I have now is it'll be about like a 3 feet by 4 feet kind of panel. There'll be one sitting there, you know, vertically, and then there'll be 3 there, and then probably, you know, 1 or 2 there, because that's a big wall. That would be more about the dampening of the sound rather than the keeping sound in here and not over there. Because in here, you know, this is just a bathroom. You know, it's just whatever. That is not important. Anything else? What else is there? I don't think there's anything else. Wonderful. So yeah, that's my studio. It's all the nonsense and all the stuff that's going to be. Oh, one more thing. So this wall, this is the outside wall, as you can tell by the windows. On that side of the wall, you know, the outside of my house is brick. It might be real brick, it might be brick facade, I don't know. But on this side, I'm going to put brick facade, because how cool would that look? It might cause problems in recording, but that's why I'll be recording in there then, you know? So yeah, that'll be brick facade, and then below us right here is the kitchen down there. That same wall will be brick facade. Obviously that's gonna be expensive, it's gonna take time, so, you know, it'll come in time. But yeah, brick facade, it'll look really cool. And then these walls will probably all be blue, because blue is supposedly a fuel for creativity. I do not know about that, but yeah, that's what they say. So, let's end this video with a little bit of webcam talking. Woohoo! I lied about the webcam, I'm just gonna do it on here. So, a few updates. The campaign on Teespring failed, and I'm a little disappointed and bummed out. But whatever, onward and upward. So what I'm gonna do now is, instead of doing through Teespring, because I don't like that I can only have it up for a certain amount of days, I want to have it up indefinitely. You know, I want to have, you know, as much time as people want / need to buy my stuff. So instead of doing it through Teespring, unless I can figure out a way to do it indefinitely, instead of doing it through Teespring, I'm going to either do one of two things. I'm either going to buy the means to print shirts myself, and then I'll just screen print them myself and sell them, or I'm just gonna buy them in bulk, either through Teespring or through another printer, and just sell them myself. Either way, I'm gonna be selling them myself. and I'm not sure exactly how I'll be selling them myself yet. It'll either be through Bandcamp or through the Facebook store page, like tab on my Facebook page, or I'll just make a website that'll sell them. I'm a little hesitant to make a website now because James Stapleton is not my permanent brand. James Stapleton is who I am. James Stapleton is not my music. So I don't want to make music and whatnot under James Stapleton anymore. So that's kind of another little update. James Stapleton is dead. No. So I'm going to be James Stapleton. My music is not going to be. I don't know exactly what I'll be releasing my music under, but it will be like a proper band name. It's not going to be like an alias. You know how like Father John Misty, right? It's Josh Tillman. I think that's his name. But his, artist name is Father John Misty. That's not what it's going to be like. I'm going to be, it's not going to be me as a different name. It's going to be my music under a different name. So it's like how Owl City is just Adam Young, but it's a band name. It's a band that releases the music, even though it's just Adam Young who does everything. Because I want my music to reach far and wide, but I don't want to reach far and wide. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing that. And another reason, if you haven't noticed, I share a last name with a very popular country artist by the name of Chris Stapleton. And if I continue as James Stapleton, I'm just always gonna feel like I'm just walking in the shadow of Chris, and I don't want that. Even though I'm not related to him in any way, I just don't want to be. I don't want to be, in the shadow of Chris Stapleton. I want to be my own entity. I want to be 100% myself. And more importantly, I want my music to not, be in the shadow of someone else, because my music is art, and I want my art to not have to suffer because of, who I personally am. So it's going to be under a different name. That's a lot of rambling for the simple statement of just I'm rebranding my music because I want my music to prosper, and I don't want to be my music. My music is its own thing. So I will be relaunching the shirts eventually with the James Stapleton. It will be a bunch of stuff. But that will be the only James Stapleton merch I make, because James Stapleton will no longer be a brand. James Stapleton will be a person who manages brands, I guess. I'm also trying to think of label names. If you want to help me think of band names, of label names, anything like that. Well, band names. After I make my next album, which is far away from now, I'm going to assemble it and listen to it all, and then I'll come up with a name. The album and the band will probably be the same name, and I keep saying band, it'll just be me, but it'll be under a different name. So the name of the band and the album will be the same probably, but I want to really hear the music and really have a name that encompasses all that the music spirit is, instead of coming up with a name and trying to make something for that spirit. I want the music to speak for itself in every way that I can let it. I don't want to silence the music in any way. I just want music to be music. I want it to spread its wings and fly to the heavens. This has been a really serious kind of video, and I'm not a fan of that. Look at that. Shake it. So thank you for watching my studio tour video. I'll probably do another one of these in the semi-near future whenever I have more stuff added, when I have soundproofing added, when I have new equipment everywhere, when I have new stuff to show you, I will show you. Because I like doing this even if no one watches. If no one watches, that's fine, because I had fun doing this. And new music is on the way, new everything is on the way. I'm trying to get through school right now, and work and whatnot. I'm in a Pro Tools course, and I want to learn as much as I can about Pro Tools before trying to make a big project. And then also next semester I'm going to take actual production classes so I can learn what makes a good production, what makes a good producer, and I can learn how to really critically listen to a song or a mix and be like, that's not good, that is good. At the end of the day, it's all subjective, and what you think is good or not good, is completely up to you, but I want to know how to find that, and that's what really the courses are going to be. So, I will be making a new Shotgun Sessions very soon. I need to make good audio only mixes first before I try to bring video into the mix, because I'm using a completely different system with Pro Tools. I used to be using Audacity, which is a much easier system. Now I'm not. Now I'm working with all this nonsense. So hang in there. Yeah, thank you for supporting me. If you do, if you don't support me, start supporting me. What are you doing? Come on, man. Hell, why do you like this video? You liking my channel and you don't support me? Bella's trying to wiggle her way out of my arms. Goodbye.
When I saw the ship